Welcome to another episode of The Raw Truth. And I'm your host, BX Bad Boy. Today, I'm going to talk because I'm confused. Then again, I'm not confused, but it's confusing. Decisions on how to look at that. I don't know how people could vote and think against their best interest. Like, do you walk into fire? Or do you say, oh, that's going to burn, so you don't? How do you walk into a situation knowing its outcome? I got into a discussion with one of my brothers today, and we were just talking about Trump versus Biden. It really wasn't political. It's all about fact versus fiction. It's not Democratic. It's not Republican. It's about the fact that Trump is literally trying to harm us, and Biden may actually harm us, but we don't know. It boils back to the devil you do know or the devil you don't know. Now, just with his most recent executive orders, we're not going to go through the list of shit. We're just going to go on the executive orders. Now, he wants to get rid of the payroll tax. Now, the payroll tax is what mostly funds, or from my understanding, it funds completely Medicare and Social Security. Now, I'm only 41, so I'm nowhere near Social Security age. But when I get there, I'd like there to be a Social Security. If he passes this executive order and gets away with it, which is quite possible because he's gotten away with far more and far less, and then gets rid of it if he gets reelected, he will essentially kill a lot of people that I love and care about because they survive on Social Security right now. And it's not possible to plan with a nest egg from work because you have no idea how long you're going to live. Do you need $1 million? Do you need 50,000? Do you need 100 million? You don't know how much you're going to live after Social Security age. You really don't. So Social Security was designed to make sure that you can survive for the foreseeable future. He's going to bankrupt it. How can you honestly not say that that's a big problem? And Biden has talked about doubling down on Social Security. Now, is that a better thing? I guess for people on Social Security, it's better. Will it hurt us financially, individually, in our paychecks? Of course. But we'll live. We'll struggle, but we'll live because we'll still have an income coming in. The doubling down, if that's what he really wants to do and that's what he tries to do, isn't going to bankrupt us. Isn't going to kill us. It's just going to make us suffer. We got to work harder. But people on Social Security, they can't work. That's the whole point. So taking that away from them, they can't double down and buck up and take it like a man and move on and get a better job. Wait, they can't work. That's the whole point. So I feel, logically speaking, killing my family and myself when I need Social Security by it not being there, it's far worse than Biden's plan, which might make me have to work twice as hard to cover the loss of the additive into Social Security, if he even does it and can get it passed. Just because somebody wants to do something doesn't mean they can. They want to. It's totally different. Trump already signed an executive order. If it goes uncontested and unfought, he would have made it pass. Because everybody underneath him will do whatever he says. You know, the people he appoints to the Treasury and the people he appoints to the Post Office, they do as he says. They could care less what Congress says because they're his boys. just like DeJoy. He put DeJoy in office over the post office to cripple it more than it already was. Yeah, it was in financial ruin, but it was still functioning. The mail was still basically on time. Now my mail shows up almost 4 hours late. I'm sorry. That's odd. I think I got my mail at 5 p.m. the last couple of days, ever since the Joy cut overtime. My mail used to come between 12 and 1 p.m. It's now coming between 5 and 7. That just a coincidence? I think not. I don't believe in coincidence. When it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, smells like a duck, it definitely ain't a chicken. So, Biden may not be the best president that we'll ever have, or even a good president, but I guarantee you, he's not going to be trying to bankrupt Social Security, killing millions of Americans that depend on it. And he's not going to try to shut down the post office so people that depend on the medication can't get it. My father's medication that he lives on and survives off of, and without he dies, it's also, that one's actually 8 hours later than usual. It's a good thing that he isn't gonna die with an 8-hour window gap. But if it gets any longer, it could kill him. Because if he goes one day without his medicine, I'm going to a funeral. And that's all DeJoy's doing on the behalf of Trump. Will Biden do that? No, because it doesn't benefit him to bankrupt the post office. He doesn't want to privatize it. The Republicans do. So if they bankrupt the post office, they can start their own post office that is now privatized. That's their whole plan. On top of Trump being successful at delaying the election, or at least the results. How come no one sees that on his side of the table, or people that think they don't like Biden and, screw Biden, whatever they want to say? How can they not see that being, all the things I just mentioned about Trump, being worse than whatever Biden would do? It's because everybody thinks that he wants to defund the police. Never made any mention of it. As a matter of fact, I saw firsthand from his own mouth mentioning adding more money to the police force and getting them better training and weeding out those, as they call, bad apples. And my brother then gone on to say how the protesters were burning this and burning that. And I don't know why people can't separate protesters from rioters when it's for Black Lives Matter. But when the whites decided to protest the shutdown so they can get their hair cut, they were very easy to separate protesters from rioters. But like I said, the protesters for Black Lives Matter aren't come strapped with AR-15s across their backs and stomachs. They come unarmed. Now, you want to argue with me that they had concealed weapons? Fine. Some may have. But guess what? They were concealed. They weren't being pieces of shit and showing the powers that be, we'll shoot you all. Because why are you bringing AR-15 and strapped with body armor to a protest unless you plan on having a shootout? There's a law, and I forget what state it is, but if you have body armor on and you have your weapon, which it's a carry state, a cop can accept that as suspicious behavior, that you're wearing a bulletproof uniform and have your gun on. And the cop can come up and investigate you and harass you in a state that allows it. But when the white protesters came up to fight for getting their hair cut in that exact same uniform, but instead with a pistol, they have AR-15s. How come that's okay? It's hypocrisy, I think it's called, where it's good for one but bad for the other, even though it's the exact same thing. And I don't know how you can say for a second that it's not either racially motivated or stereotypically motivated, because all the ones that are wearing the body armor and have the firearms that are being harassed by the police for dressing that way aren't white. That's all I'm saying. The white ones, as they ridiculous would be called, nobody harasses them. They can come to protest strapped to the teeth, ready to shoot the world up, and nobody bats an eye. Gad say that that's not racially motivated or stereotypically motivated. By all means, then you're just don't want to be wrong, or you just don't want to be the asshole, because if you admit that that's wrong, then you bring power to the whole statement that Black Lives Matter, and so far they haven't been. Doesn't work in your favor. But only a moron thinks that it's okay for a white person to bring an AR-15 and a black person goes to the same kind of protest, but because they're two different colors, that doesn't weigh any odds. That's pretty stupid, since one gets harassed, tear gassed, and shot at. The other one, have a good day, sir. Because I don't remember seeing those white protesters strapped with AR-15s, the police shooting tear gas at them, and rubber bullets, or even bullets. But the Black Lives Matter, I've watched them get shot with tear gas, they got hit with the can, and shot with rubber bullets, and one or two have been shot, and they were unarmed, and it was still just the same peaceful protest. Coincidence? I think not. But of course, nobody wants to face that fact, except everybody but white people. Because that makes them look bad. You know what makes you look bad? When you won't admit your faults. I admit my wrongdoing the best I can. I have a long-term saying, I'd rather you love me for the truth than love me for a lie. And it's this simple. I'm going to be dead honest with you, even if you don't like it, and you could hate me all day long, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you, because that love is fake and not everlasting. You may hate me for telling you the truth about yourself, or the truth that you don't want to hear, but you'll respect the fact I'm honest with you. You'll know that you can trust whatever comes out of my mouth to be the real. Though you may never want to talk to me because you don't want to hear it, but it's the one thing you'll count on. I spent my youth lying my ass off. I was definitely one of those kids that had my hand in the cookie jar and still said it wasn't me. I was a stupid kid. I ain't a kid anymore. My son's done that too. I caught him doing something flat out. Wasn't me. I'm like, dude, I watched you do it. Wasn't me. He's still afraid. We'll be having a meeting with him. I'll be doing a cast this weekend with my 11-year-old. If you're interested, leave a comment and we'll go live. So you guys can talk to him and me as well. No comments, I'm going to record it. I'm not going to put my son through a live cast if nobody wants to get involved. So leave a comment, let me know whether or not you want to be involved in a live meeting. If I get enough people that want, then we'll go live this weekend. And you can talk to him, you can talk to me. Maybe I'll get my brother, and the three of us could talk to all of you. But you gotta let me know you want to. And so far no one's left any comments. I don't know if they're afraid, ashamed, want to keep everything private, or what's the case. But I don't know what you guys would want to discuss, and we're not having a dialogue if you keep quiet. I wish somebody would step up. Even if it's somebody that's got something to say that's against what I'm saying, I don't care. That's the whole point of a dialogue. You got a difference of opinion. Maybe you can convince me you're right. Maybe I can convince you I'm right. Facts versus fiction. But if you stay quiet, well, then I'm just talking to myself. So please, leave comments, letting me know what you want to do if you guys are up for it. And I'll pick either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and I'll let you guys know. And I'll do a live sesh, me, my son, and maybe one of my brothers if I can get him through. And we can all go through it. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only thing I ask you is be respectful, especially to my son. He's 11. He's afraid nobody likes him. He doesn't have enough friends because of COVID, for one. Two, he doesn't get to go hang out with anybody for multiple reasons we're not going to get into right now. So he thinks everybody doesn't like him. So don't try to hurt his feelings. He's an 11-year-old boy. You quickly bounce, for one. Two, you won't want to walk down the street and catch me seeing you. Just leave it at that. Let's go on to the next subject that's bothering me some. I quit smoking yesterday. I won't lie, I've had a few cigarettes since. But I'm not buying anymore. And it's tough. I look for excuses to smoke a cigarette. And every time I find one, I know how stupid it is. I'm going to be keeping a log of how many times I smoke, essentially. And I'm going to be keeping a video log of my experience quitting again. I mean, the last time I quit was for 3 months. And I don't know what happened. I guess I cracked and got angry and said, you know what, screw it. But I'm going to keep a log, and it's going to go up on this channel. I have a few other channels, two for my son and my main channel where I do reviews, and if I have a dash cam experience, I throw it up. I could put a link to all of those in my description. If you're interested. I bought a few things off of Wish, and I'm gonna review them when they come in, but Wish takes forever. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for that video. Though, even though a few of them got canceled and refunded because it took too long to process, so the object was gone. Likely story. But yeah, whatever you're willing to discuss, so am I. I don't care if it's cars, women, kids, refrigerators, lights, podcasts, YouTube. If I know the subject, I'll discuss it. If I don't know the subject, I'll still discuss it, but it'll be more like a questionnaire. I'll be asking you questions about it, and then I'll do my own research, and then I'll come back and we'll debate it more. So please leave a comment, let me know what you want to do, and please like and subscribe, because the more subscribers the better. It'll help fund this channel, and it will help give my son an outlet. It will help me take care of him. Unfortunately, I can't work, not just because of COVID, but because of COVID. Um, so I pull as many strings as I can, and I do whatever I have to do to find a way to finance, well, everything. Child support. Oh man, let's not even go there. I think I'm gonna do an episode tomorrow about child support. Whew. You know what? Yeah. So keep an eye out for tomorrow, because I'll be doing the podcast about child support. And hopefully I'll be able to get my brother involved, because he's got his own child support issues that would make you turn in your boots. Or maybe it won't. But it made me turn in my boots, because that's some bullshit. Well, this has been BX Bad Boy. Have yourself a good night, and I'll catch you in the morning. Well, tomorrow. Peace.